I'm Margaret in Windsor, and I was kidnapped in 1941 and brought to Moulton, Alabama. I was kidnapped from Buckingham Palace and given the name of a deceased twin, Peggy Ann Dempsey. I still have to use it, but I use Peggy Ann Dempsey Childers. I married Childers. Both twins were dead, Carl and Peggy. Their mother had killed them, and I was put there about a week before Peggy was actually murdered, and they gave me her identity. I found out in 1983 after I was at a campaign to replace Congressman Dr. Larry McDonald. Larry Flint of Hustler magazine flew me out to his Bel Air home and helped me in the campaign. Now then, I wanted to get to, I was writing about mind control murders in 78 when Larry Flint was shot. And I knew it was done in patterns, but I had not met Mr. Flint until 1983. Anyway, I'm going to go, and I'm just going to have some pinpoints here that mind control murders is making a puppet out of someone and they don't even know it. So if you're looking for a motive like they're looking for in a lot of these mind control murders, shootings, or truck 18-wheelers driving in and killing people, it's what you can use it for is so many ways, and how do you prove it? It's invisible. So the ones I've written about over the years were done in patterns, and they can be proven. So I wanted to get in after I did the book, and it was never published because, quite frankly, they almost killed me. I'm going to go to just some dates. This was, if this is ever told, the date was in March. After I'd done the book, got a letter from the FBI, ongoing investigation, national security involved. And I went out to Dallas, Texas. I was going to Laura Mae Childers Klein. She lived in Abilene then. She lives just outside Austin now. But anyway, I was gotten out there by her with a promise to let me stay a week or two in her home, and she'd help me find a job. And if I did find a job, I was going to get my two sons out of Atlanta because so much was being done to us. And it scared me so. The law didn't seem to help at all, even though we got a letter from the FBI. And this is just before they almost murdered me, but that's happened quite a few times before. But got out there to Dallas, and I got to Mesquite. I had enough money on me, and Abilene wasn't that far, that I spent the night in a Days Inn in Mesquite. It's right next to Dallas, Texas. And I called Laura the next morning, and suddenly, just as I'd left Atlanta, I called her and made sure it was okay to come. And now here I am out in Mesquite, and she tells me I'm no longer welcome. So I had to go back home, and my apartment was gone when I got there. Illegal, all of it. They allowed my ex-husband to take it and move in the same complex, but they allowed him to sign a new lease, move my furniture, use my deposit, and I no longer had a key. And that's when they almost killed me again, April Fool Day of 80. Now, you won't see the point in the Mesquite, and there's so much I leave out because, quite frankly, the way most people have responded to me, and then finding out about my kidnapping in 83, I just told the truth plain and simple about a lot of things. And I wanted my name back and to find my children too. And I haven't seen them in a long time. I hope they're alive. So you won't see where maybe the next to Dallas comes into play, the town. That's also the town in Nevada where Mr. Paddock, I believe he lived there, or his brother Eric. So you're getting into names and places that form a pattern. If you can put it up and people are, you have to give a little background on it and put it up on a graph or something and show it. The response is people don't want to hear it until they're affected with it. I would assume off the cuff, and maybe he would think it's unfair, if Mr. Eric Paddock, the brother of Stephen Paddock, had I talked with him about this, he would have tuned me out too before it happened to him. I'm not sure he would tune me out now. It's like MK Ultra, mind control. You don't have to take my word that there's mind control used on people. All you have to do is Google it. I just happened to be the one that was doing a book, and I'm quite sure I was. Some of the jobs I had were laid out for me. Like in 1980, I was almost killed. I've said that. And it's when I lost the apartment and everything, and I was illegally taken across the state line to Huntsville, Alabama. That's NASA. And I was taken to Moulton, Alabama when I was kidnapped in Little. And the same woman that I had to call mother, she's mother of the twins. She sure the heck isn't my mother. But anyway, I had to live in the same town with her, scared to death, and I was taken across the state line by her illegally. It's kidnapping all over again. But I got to worked for the district attorney Fred Simpson, as in Wallace Warfield Simpson was supposed to marry King Edward VIII, and they were supposed to become the Duke and Duchess of Windsor. Well, I found out later when I started finding out about my name, that was a lie. My father never married Wallace Simpson. He was already married to my mom, Claudia Ruth O'Keefe, from Madison, Wisconsin, and she's sister to artist Georgia O'Keefe that ended up living on Ghost Ranch. She was an artist in Abiquiu, New Mexico. But that's about all the background I'm going to give on it, because I've put all this up and I've really suffered, and I'm really about at death's door myself. I just got out of the hospital. Been worked over, unbelievable, and people don't care. I will say that, I guess, I will say I went camping because I got without any money. And got worked over out there pretty bad, so I had to go to the hospital. They carried me to the hospital, and I stayed about 5 nights, and I'm here now. So I don't know what else. I could go on and on, and I'd sound rambling, and it's kind of like, what was it all about, you know? Why did I do it? Because I cared for people, for one thing, and I wanted to get my name back. That was after I found out in 83, but so I'm going to leave it at that. And there was something else I wanted to put in. I didn't know about the Illuminati until I started doing the book. They're the ones kidnapped me, the Rockefellers, Rothschilds, Bilderbergers, Joe Kennedy, and JFK's son, and my own Uncle George VI. The United States installed their own United States installed Elizabeth. She's illegal. Her dad's illegal. George VI, he helped kidnap me. Took down his own brother, assassinated the character, helped, and Sir Winston Churchill. And I'm feeling right bad. I am right at the moment. I wanted to put this down, though. The mesquite in Nevada. It's just another word, because a lot happened in Las Vegas when I was out at Flint's. Las Vegas comes into the patterns a lot. When he flew me out there, the people that helped me in the campaign actually were the dealers in the casinos there that gave to my campaign, and I didn't know them or anything, and you have to file that, so it's filed. Oh, and there's a lot of other connections. Ron Ziegler was of the Watergate, okay? He was a good guy, not Henry Kissinger, not Nixon. And I worked for him in 1984 when I got the Hustler magazine did an endorsement, April of 84, for the presidency, which people, I suppose, take as a joke. Unless they heard all that I know and could tell them. but anyway, Ron Ziegler, I worked for him there. He had it was like uh, the big trucking firm. It was one of the big ones, and it was home office, and he was out in Vegas. And he called, and he knew my real name then. He already knew it. And but anyway, there was one time, they were telling, well, that won't make sense either. He had a plane crash. It went down. I think Ron Ziegler did. I better check my facts. I know that Hugh Hefner, I had contacted trying to get the help in doing my book back in 78. I was living at Moonraker Apartments in Marietta, and that's when Larry Flynn of Hustler Magazine was shot. And I do know that I'd have to go back in some files and stuff if I've still got it. I can't carry it around. But anyway, Hugh Hefner, Arthur Kretschmer was on his staff, and he was always listed in the side cover of the book. And I contacted him, and my husband did back in 78, and I even called him, and he said, well, he had my information and everything. He said, I turned it over to our attorneys, and if we can, we will help you. Well, their plane went down with some of the Playboy staff on it right after then, so that would have been about the time right after I got the letter from the FBI about, I don't know, June, July of 1980. It had to be 1989. Okay, because Flint was shot in March. I'm tired now, really tired of what happened to me out there camping and everything. So I'm going to go. I would imagine, by the way, Eric Paddock, the brother, must feel very sad now what's happening to them, because this is showing you that this man, I don't know what they make up, but they're going in and trying to dig up something on this one. The motive was from whoever programmed him. Eric, the brother, his name, Eric, is very important in all this too. So I'm going to leave it there, because if it's ever told, I don't think anybody hardly would ever have cared or helped. They just want to live another day, I suppose. But I'm going to leave it at that. And if this is told finally, how many people's son or daughter was programmed and was killed, or they kill somebody, however, it doesn't have to be with a rifle. That's what they're trying to do, is take your guns away right now. And they spent their life in prison or on death row like Scott Peterson. How would you feel?